Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's another episode of DIY hair care and hair growth treatments, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated whipped shea butter recipe. What's even better is that this particular recipe is formulated for both hair and skin. I'll get into the why in a minute, but first off, this is my number one ingredient, raw shea butter. This is what raw shea butter looks like when you purchase it. It smells very traditional, if you can put a smell to traditional, but it smells very traditional and undiluted, and it's usually very stiff. The second ingredient you're going to need is pure castor oil, and this is the castor oil that I'm going to use. You can use any castor oil, Jamaican black castor oil, whichever one you prefer. Just make sure that your castor oil is raw and undiluted. The third ingredient is mustard seed oil. This is a new ingredient on this channel. It's 100% pure mustard seed oil, and the brand is KTC. I'm also going to get into the benefits of each and every one of these ingredients shortly, but I'm going to set this aside and proceed to introduce the fourth ingredient, which is the beloved coconut oil. Coconut oil is a natural hair friendly ingredient and oil, and you can use this if your hair loves coconut oil, or you can use olive oil. I actually didn't have olive oil as at the time I filmed this video, but you can go ahead and include olive oil as one of your major ingredients. And then the next ingredient is glycerin. Glycerin is a humectant which helps to pull in moisture from the air into your hair. Moisture is essential for keeping your hair hydrated and healthy. Now, I forgot to introduce water, but the next ingredient I have here is aloe vera, which you guys already know is an excellent ingredient for hair treatments. Let's get right into the preparation. So I'm whipping out my electric cooker, and guys, you will not believe it, I actually forgot to film the part of the video where I scooped the quantity of shea butter that I was going to need into my electric cooker, but you can see how much I took out of the plate. I took out more than half of it because I was making for two purposes, for my hair and for my skin. But I basically put that into my electric cooker and let it melt down into an oil. On the side, I've received quite a number of questions asking where I purchased this electric cooker from. If you're in Nigeria, I purchased mine from Jumia. Just type in electric cooker and it should come up in your search results. If you're outside Nigeria, I can't really say where to get this from, but you'll have to do your research. So I went ahead to melt down my shea butter, and as it melted, I poured in each of my ingredients, the oils, into the shea butter, just to heat everything up and to get everything melted. So typically when I do these whipped shea butter recipes, I don't usually have a fixed quantity for each ingredient. I usually measure out my ingredient based on the quantity of shea butter that I use. For the quantity of shea butter that I used here, I went ahead to use about 15 to 20 tablespoonfuls of coconut oil, and then I used 10 spoonfuls of mustard seed oil, and then I used 5 spoonfuls of castor oil and 1 to 2 spoonfuls of glycerin. Your quantities can vary based on your preference. You don't have to work with what I use specifically. You can definitely vary your quantities, but this is what I use for this one. I'm working on getting a scale to help with measurements and to ensure a little more accuracy. But for now, these are the quantities that I use as stated. Meanwhile, it's not too late to welcome new subscribers and viewers to this channel. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video and for choosing to engage with my channel. For my beloved old subscribers, thank you so much for watching me yet again. Everybody, please kindly hit that thumbs up button to help more people who need to see content like this on YouTube have that access to it. And if you've not subscribed already but you like what you see and you want to subscribe, please don't let me stop you. Don't forget to tap the bell beside the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever I post new content. And everyone, if you have any questions, kindly leave them down below and I will try my best to engage and respond. At this point, my shea butter is completely melted down. That took quite a couple of minutes. I simply let it cool down for a few more minutes. I filmed this video in a hurry actually, so I didn't let it completely cool down. But if you let your shea butter completely cool down, it will no longer look like an oil and it would be a little bit solidified. But guys, I didn't let that happen. I simply let it cool down enough for me to dip my hand into it, and then I transferred it into the bowl I was going to use for my mixing and proceeded to add my glycerin to the oil. Like I said, if you let it cool down for a few hours, it will solidify enough for you to whip it. But if you're in a hurry like I was, you can go ahead and proceed with a quickness. Just to get my point across, I'm going to proceed to whip this oil. The oil is still warm, so I'm going to go ahead and whip this and show you guys that whipping it at this stage does nothing. You're just going to be whipping oil and it's not going to coagulate or solidify. So the best thing to do would actually be to keep it to cool down until it's whippable. If you want to speed that process along, you can go ahead and put your oil in the freezer. It will definitely cool down faster. Obviously, your freezer has to have electricity in it, but you can definitely go ahead and do that and it will make your oil cool down much faster and it will be easier to whip. So you can see that I put my aloe vera into my oil. At this stage, I had basically put all of the ingredients into the oil, and now I proceeded to start whipping. I can see the butter start to take form. Now guys, while this continues to take form, let's talk about the benefits of each ingredient. Shea butter was the #1 ingredient, and this is a traditional African ingredient which has been used for centuries and centuries in different types of skincare and hair care regimens. And I'm talking very healthy ingredients and extremely organic ingredients. But don't forget, you have to look for shea butter that is non-adulterated in order to get the best result. Shea butter helps to condition your hair, it helps to moisturize your hair, it helps to strengthen your hair strands, it conditions your scalp, it helps to thicken your hair, it helps to reduce breakage, and it helps to keep hair and scalp diseases at bay, as well as softening dry and brittle hair and repairing damaged hair. Shea butter contains several vitamins and minerals, most notably vitamins A and E, and essential fatty acids, all of which help to condition and nourish your hair. And it also helps to reduce scalp inflammation and relieve itchy scalp. The next ingredient is coconut oil. Coconut oil is one of the major carrier oils known to the natural hair community, and if your hair does not love coconut oil, you can definitely use some other carrier oil. By the way, this is my butter after I took it out of the freezer. I kept putting it in the freezer and taking it out at intervals just to enable it to solidify even further, to enable my whipping process. Coconut oil is essential for conditioning your hair. It helps to lock in and retain moisture from the atmosphere, and it also helps to improve the health and the condition of your hair and scalp. The next ingredient is mustard seed oil. Mustard seed oil is a personal favorite of mine, and it's a spicy oil which helps to moisturize your hair. It helps to reduce inflammation of the scalp and scalp irritation. It also helps to deep condition your hair. It helps to reduce breakage. It can act as a heat protectant to protect the hair from harsh sun rays, and it also helps to treat and prevent dandruff. Now guys, each and every one of these ingredients can be used in other ways. This whipped shea butter recipe is just one of the ways that I brought all of the ingredients together to make one bomb recipe. At this point, you can see me add water to my whipped shea butter. Guys, don't be afraid of adding water to your whipped shea butter. As long as you're whipping it with a machine or even your hands, it's going to blend right in. And we all know water is the original moisturizer. I added water for that extra kick of moisture, and the water also helps the whipped shea butter to be even more frothy. I added 100 ml of water to this and I whipped it to perfection. The water doesn't show at all, it doesn't separate from the oil, it blends right in. So go ahead and add your water, but be sure that you don't add too much. You want to add just about 100 grams or 150 grams unless you're making whipped shea butter in huge quantity. So go ahead and add that, and you can see how my whipped shea butter finally looks. Guys, it looks so creamy, it looks so frothy, kind of like ice cream, but Don't taste it. It was bitter. I tasted it. It was bitter because of the aloe vera. And I forgot to mention, guys, like I said, I made this one specifically for use on my hair and on my skin. And that's the reason why I didn't add so many ingredients like I would if I was making it specifically for hair. I made it for my skin because lately I have tried this thing called skincare and it's just not working for me. So I decided to go back to the natural products, and instead of buying them from brands, I decided to make it myself because I want to know exactly what I'm putting in it. And usually this is the reason most of us, or those of us with sensitive skin, always choose to make our own skincare and hair care products. So this is me putting my whipped shea butter into my jar. I put it into 2 different jars for my skin. So this is the one for skin, and I put it into another jar for my hair. At the end of the day, I had quite the quantity of whipped shea butter, and you can see it's almost as if the oil doubled in quantity. That's just because I chose to whip it. So if you want that extra smooth consistency, guys, I would definitely recommend you use a mixer. That's the cake mixer that I use to whip your butter for extra creaminess and extra smoothness, and also to take out any unnecessary lumps that may want to linger in your butter. By the way, melting it down to an oil also does that. It makes it easier to whip and it makes it turn out even creamier. So there, my butter is ready. I just covered that up. The one on the left was for skin and the one on the right with the orange cover. I'm about to show you guys how I apply. I mean, there is nothing new to it. I'm just going to go ahead and moisturize. Whoops, light. I'm going to go ahead and moisturize my hair using the whipped shea butter, and this is what it looks like overnight. It's quite stiff, but that's okay since it's primarily butter. I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my hair. My hair is already in sections, as you can see. I braided this yesterday when my hair was wet, so it's shrunken. Anytime your hair is braided when it's wet, it tends to stay shrunken. So I'm going to, I like my braids and my twists looking fluffy. By now, if you live on my channel, you will know this. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen each of these, and then I'm going to rebraid them. And I'm also, my hair is still quite oily, so I'm just going to apply this to my ends just a little bit to prevent any form of dryness that may be lingering. So I'm going to take these down one by one. And that is it. My hair is done. I went ahead to add some beads for extra spice, and this is what we have. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you try this out. Please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.